how do you know it's a no hat day? Like right from the jump. Good morning, Kate. Good morning, everyone. Prediction bathrobe. We don't own a bathrobe. It's too hot for bathrobes here in the South. Good morning. How are you? What is this stream getting off to? What kind of start is this morning? I've missed like 2 weeks of streams because of alerts, Twitch alerts. They're the worst. They're the worst. Your break was only a week, but I keep getting surprised by these notifications. I surprise myself every day. How are y'all? How are y'all? Yeah, 100 in Arkansas. Yeah. Miss Cookie, 9 months of subbing. Thank you so much. All the hobbies yawn. You don't sleep. You don't sleep. You don't need to yawn. If you don't sleep, do you yawn? That's a good question. If you don't ever sleep, do you actually yawn? Good looking shirt. Thank you. Thank you. Moderately new shirt. Good morning, friendos. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. We had a developing situation this morning. Well, right before stream started. So on my desk here, Toby was laying under my feet here, which he never does. So like I've just now been able to put my feet down on the floor. So thank you, Toby. He heard something. He went to Bork, and then he came back, and now he's laying on the couch next to me. Prediction matching pin to shirt. It doesn't really match. I mean, this is kind of a blue. I mean, we're in the ballpark, I guess. But this is kind of a greenish, minty green shirt, and this is definitely like a blue pin. So, great pod yesterday. Did you miss the Pilot S20 and the Mech pencil list? So, like, if I really thought about the list and like tried to do like a really good job instead of an exceedingly average job, which is really my go-to. I'm very average. S20. That's probably a B tier. Don't throw stuff at me. As you know, I love the S20. I love the Uni Shift pipe block. There's tiers for a reason. I think it's a B tier, which B's pretty good. B is like very, very usable, right? Murdoch 64, 5 months of subbing. Let's go. Let's go. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So yeah, like Brad, okay, the auto HUD, if it's too expensive, what are the alternatives to the quality, albeit less expensive? Lamy Studio. You're going to see the Lamy Studio right up against this pen at a fraction of the cost by the time I get done with the review. Like I'm really enjoying this pen. So there's this whole price point of pens that I struggle with. Auto Huts there, Waldman, some of the higher end Faber-Castells, like in that 250 to 350 range. Steel nib German pens that are like, honestly, they look kind of basic, right? Where I can buy like a Franklin Christoph or a Brooks pen if I want something with a lot of character. Makey, 27 months of subbing. Let's go. Thank you so much. That's amazing. So you can't. It's tough. It's tough. Killer Sheep, 14 months. What's up? Glad you made it. So yeah, that's why like I'm using this so much. It's like it's genuinely good. Just like the Waldman, like all the hobbies will praise heap all the praise on the Waldman, and I've used hers before and it's awesome. But what you're asking for is something is different. Right? It's different. I mean, there's 1,000 things less expensive. I love my Auto HUD 03, but I wish it's about $30 less. Yeah, like, I don't know. Like, it's a tough, like, I think about this way too much. Toasty Treat. Thoughts on the Line Sailors? I think they're pretty spectacular. I'm confused on the North America release, but independent of that, they're great, especially the Duck. The Duck is, although the Bear gets tons of love too, so. I'm struggling with the price of the Pilot Custom Heritage SE. Is that the color barrel ones? The red, blue, green ones? I wish the finials were two-toned. It's an interesting choice on the finial, right? Killer Sheep, thanks for the bits. Yeah, like, I get that. Like, why not do, like the inlay. It's just line art, right? So why not do the inlay? Like, yeah, I understand that. Also, at the same point, I love the duck finial. I bought my auto huts from the EU, so it's much cheaper. Yeah. So yeah, like there's this whole. I don't know. It's why I do what I do. Try to explain this stuff, even explaining the unexplainable. The price is a huge oof. Someone on Slack had some insight on the pins and was going to email you, but basically it's a generation thing. For which Mafia Geek? For the line or for something or for the auto hut? Because I could see a generational thing for both those things, right? Auto hut is now trying to make the modern pin when they were making like the classics, and like I get it, like I'm here for it. They're great. The line friends also a generation thing, trying to get a new generation into the line. But does that generation into the line, are they going to spend $400 on a fountain pen? So yeah, I would appreciate that email because I find that interesting, right? All right, strings and pedals, enjoy your lurk. I think they should have done on a cheaper entry level pen. Yes, I'm with you, Toasty Treat. Yeah, I guess that goes back to Mafia Geeks thing. If it's a generational thing, are you telling the millennials to spend $400 on a fountain pen with a duck on it? Yeah, okay. Okay, we're on the same page. Definitely on the same page. Alienware ad. Graphic cards must be more available. Yeah, the price of Bitcoin is dropping. So now there's inventory for graphic cards. I have 2 of those auto huts. I can't ever remember the model numbers. Right. I'm curious to see how they do. Yeah, me too, Toasty Treat. Me too. It's like my gut feeling says good, but it's still like there's so many questions. I'm Gen Z and have no issues spending $400 on a pen. Yeah, you're also watching a pen stream on Twitch. Like it's few and far between. But like for like a new market, that's a big ask. LeCool is great. I don't like the LeCool. I'm not a Sailor entry level pen fan. That's me. That's the one thing I get on Sailor for. If they could make an entry level pen as good as Platinum and Pilot, I'd be into it. They are definitely 3 out of 3 for entry level pens. They are the worst of the big 3. I guess it's more of a Gen Z thing. Are they into line? I think that's a bigger question than like the spending power. One, are they into line? Don said sales to resellers are responding well, but it all depends on if people buy them for retailers. I probably bought the Duck as a LeCool, but not as a 360 Pro Gear. Yeah. It's also Don. Cred plans, 11 months of subbing. So yeah, I mean, honestly, I hope they do well, right? Like, I don't want anyone to like have a project that fails, but it's lots of interesting commentary on that one. Yeah, fountain pens aren't dying off. They're just never going to be big, right? They're just never going to blow up, right? Like, we're kind of are what we are. And, like, there'll be growth, slow growth, things like that. So, apparently big on the no alerts today with Twitch. So, more people today have said that they didn't get alerts than any day that I can remember in a long time. I think Twitch has been having some issues today from what I was seeing, just kind of in general sense of things. It's definitely a niche hobby. Yeah. And like there's been good growth in the hobby, but like it's also not easy. Like you look at someone like Woodshed, right? So, it's challenging. It's challenging for everyone. Look what happened to mechanical keyboards. I'm glad fountain pens stay a small hobby. That's a good point, temporally. That's a good point. It's a niche but good hobby. Yeah, it's really good. It's really great. Talk about niche. We have the niche of the niche today with the Drillog. So we're gonna mess around with that. What happened to Keebs? They mainstream and all the drama that comes with. So nothing's happened to them. They just they've kind of had their crossover. They were almost in like a crossover moment, which I don't know that fountain pens will ever have that. I think we would have had it by now if there was going to be this great crossover moment. So it's good. It's good stuff. So yeah, Auto Hut. Oh yeah, fountain pens have their own drama for sure. Every hobby's got their drama. All products are vaporware. It's true. Yeah, like I haven't even tried. Like one of these days, if I ever decide to splurge on a keyboard, I'm just gonna tell Mike to buy me what he thinks I should have and just let him do it. Hobby drama subreddit is fun. Is there one called hobby drama, or are you talking about a specific one? Mechanical keyboards benefit from people working at home and needing their home head set up. True. So yeah, that was a good crossover moment. True. Good point. You'll get a mode 65 from Mike. What about the Tokyo Inking Spicy episode? Yeah, I haven't listened. That one's in my queue. I'm always like weeks behind on that, but I obviously read the posts. So the Wancher post, which was fantastic. I helped CY edit that post, so I had some insight into the ongoings of the post. So I haven't listened to the podcast yet. My Coke workers would hurt me if I brought a mechanical keyboard to the office. Yeah, Lady Tamara. Yeah, that's exactly what I would do. It's like, and I don't need one. Like, I just don't need one. I really work mostly on my laptop with just in laptop mode on the laptop keyboard, which I'm wearing out the keys on my laptop. I don't want to get into keyboards as I don't have the money and time to spend on them, but I'm trying to think about the 3 that I own. I think we say that about fountain pens. Uh-huh. So when you started the Pen Addict podcast, was Mike already pen guy? Was he converted? He was pen adjacent. Like he had some pens, like he had a Mont Blanc in his desk that, was given to him, like a lot of people's stories, had the gifted Mont Blanc and like it wasn't working. And he kind of liked the idea of pens and notebooks and used them, but wasn't into like the specific stuff like we're into, like the super, super dedicated stuff, just in the more general sense. So mechanical keyboards are fine in the office if you go for quieter switches. Yeah. I read on Reddit, Roaching 800 mechanical pencils no longer made in brass, now aluminum. That's interesting. The price has gotten lower. I wonder if that's because of the aluminum. I don't know. Any thoughts about the new Line Friend Sailor pens? I think they're awesome. I'm confused why it's a North American exclusive. They're expensive, and the duck finial is the best. So we talked about it on the podcast yesterday, and we talked about it on the post show here on Twitch yesterday, and then we were talking about it this morning. Like, I think it's really good. You like the bear one more? All right, so let's do a bear versus duck. Someone drop in a bear versus duck poll. Mike is left-handed. I can see why fountain pens were not his go-to. Yep, for sure. But he kind of used them, like even in the beginning. Quick question: is there a chat during the podcast? Yes, it's a Relay FM members benefit. So you have to, in the Discord, which is a Relay FM member, you have to be a Relay FM member for that. Otherwise, you can listen live without being a member. They heard Tokyo Inkling podcast and Sailor realized we needed exclusive. I thought CY's part on the blog post, I thought the Pen Sachi stuff was the most interesting part of all of that, and how they would just basically recreate their own Sailor limited editions. Like that was confusing there for a while. Even Mike and I got like sucked up into that, like right when Pen Sachi started, and then like really quickly it got weird. So yeah, that was a thing. Oh, Trapper Keepers are goated. I like the bear pen more, but the duck finial more. Just wait, and it'll be on Pen Sachi with the part swapped, and then it'll just be called the Duck Bear and the Bear Duck, and it'll be a new version. The ultimate episode, I know. I did that on Instagram. I did do an ultimate joke, but I can only have so much. CY's blog post was super interesting. Great research. Yeah, it was fun. Not a Franken sailor. Yeah. Marketing does that all the time, though. I'd argue what Pensacci was doing was not marketing. Would you buy something from Pensacci? What's your take on that? I want a clear 823. Do they sell the clear 823? So this was my whole premise with CY and like the whole base of the article. Sally is a chicken, not a duck. That's a chicken? Oh, hang on. I'm going to come back to that. The Pensacci 823. Hold that question. That's a chicken? Really? News to me. Would I buy a clear 823 from Pensacci? Probably. So this was my conversation with CY about that. It was like, what's the end goal in the article, right? And, his end goal was consumer information. The more information we have about a company, the better position consumers are to make the correct buying decisions, right? So, like, yeah, my point was to him, and he agreed with this, like, people are still going to shop there, but they're going to do it willingly with more information and hopefully make best buying decisions for them, right? So it's more of an awareness thing, not an avoid thing, if that makes sense, right? And as long as you're having the information, the more information you have when you're making the buying decisions, the better decisions you can make. So I think that was in the end, that's where like CY wanted to get to, and that's what like I wanted to see from that piece. And so like I think he got there in the end. Like in the end, it was like really, really good. So yeah, he did a great job. So I was glad to help him out and give him some insight. But like the 823 is not easy to get. I had to buy mine. Who did I buy mine from? It wasn't in Geeka. It was, I thought it was like Tokyo Pen Store that I bought mine from. I can't remember. RDJ June, 7 months of subbing. Thank you so much. Yeah, transparency, right? And Geeka is Wancher now? Yeah. Yeah, like there's a value to what Pensacci does. But like everything's about transparency, right? I do not care where your pens are made. I care if you provide that information like clearly, right? If you're not trying to obfuscate things. Tokyo Pen Quill Shop. Yeah, all the hobbies. That's what it was. Which I don't think it was an Ingeko related shop, but they no longer exist. So yeah, I don't care who does the Urushi on your pen. I care if you're telling me the truth. Right? Like, I care if I ask you a direct question and get an indirect answer. Then I care. Then I'm like, is this where I want to do business? I don't care who makes your pens, what country they're made in. I care that we have transparency, like in when I'm buying things, right? Tokyo Quill Pen Shop. I think that was it. Work. Tokyo Quill. So that's where I bought my 823. So yeah. Maybe one day we're going to get that purple 823. Tokyo Quill used to be the hookup for the clear 823. Yeah, that's where I got mine. And they just went away 1 year, right? They don't exist anymore, I think. Oh, they won't ship overseas. Gotcha. I'd have to look at my receipt to see what year I bought that, to see if I could find it one day. Just got my second pen from Pensachi. I just want the standard pens at a good price, so wait for a discount. Yeah. Like, there's no problem with that. They exist. Pilot stomped on them. Didn't want them to be essentially an exporter. I can see that. Yeah, so that's the goal with, like, Pensachi and Wancher and Ngika is just like, hey, straightforward transparency. Let me know what I'm buying, right? I don't like the reassembling of parts, right? Like the mixing and matching of parts to create new Sailor limited editions. I don't think that's a good practice. That's not a practice I would support. But regular stuff at a good price, like no one's going to stop buying from Pensachi, right? I think they will ship if you email, but I did that a year or so ago. Do it on the down low. That's funny. I guess they just couldn't market it as they would. What's the deal with the companies not allowing things to come to America? I wish I don't know. I mean, I wish I knew. I don't know. That was two different statements in once. Any thoughts on the new FOP Model 66? I don't know what that is. Franklin Christoph Model 66? FOP Model 66. Give me some more deets. Good morning, Schmevelin. Fig Boot 66. Fig Boot on pens. Gotcha. Yes, it's very pretty. It looks like fire. It looks cool. If you want to make a Frankenpen, you do it in the privacy of your own home. Right. You make your own Frankenpens. Keep describing. Toasty Treat's only here for the hate. Toasty Treat's doing a hate watch today, and I'm just holding off on it. I'm just teasing. No, I think it comes down from the big companies, right? I do love the Drillog. So, okay, let's get into Drillog now. Because knowing me, the way I know me, this is completely typical Brad. I can't find the list I made of the good inks for the Drillog. I'm going to have to go back and watch my own YouTube video to see which inks did the best. I know the Pelican Edelstein was number one. The Pelican Edelstein list is invisible. We're gonna have to block Toasty Treat or mute Toasty Treat during the stream. I thought I hand wrote a list or typed up a list of, hey, good, mediocre, bad. And the only thing I remember is that is it in the planner? I'll look. Only thing I remember was the Edelstein was the best, and then I can't remember everything else. So I can't find my notes. Shocking, I know, right? This is my life, y'all. Welcome. Did I write it in the planner? Because I know I tested it on the well-appointed desk, the folio. Andrew, how's your folio? That's what we're going to test on today. Sorry, I'm looking. See, what I would have done, if I wrote the notes in here, I would have taken them out and put them somewhere to, like, keep permanently. I'm the worst. It's not in here. Like, I don't keep things in there. Things move in and out. You love the Drillog because you have it in a spoke icon? Not necessarily. Yeah, I tested it on the big sheet. And then I had like, all right, these are good, these are bad. And the only thing I remember was Edelstein. So I can't remember what was on bad. Can you only get the folio on shows? I'd get it at a show. I'd get it at a show you can drive to because the shipping here is a nightmare. God. It'd be a miracle if I clicked the right thing first. All right. So we have the folio here. We have water here. We have some inks over here off to the side we're going to test. I did not bring an Edelstein because I know they work. I was searching like some digital files to see, did I write these down? And I'm just terrible. I'm not out of stream practice. I'm out of life practice. All right. So we have here you had to use it like us common folk, you'd probably not like it. Who are you talking to? All right, sample. Oh, sorry, microphone. You should make Drillog stickers just for Toasty. That'd be great. Oh, I get the dislike of the Drillog. I think it's fun. If we all liked everything, this wouldn't be fun, right? All right, then we need... I'll make anti-Drillog stickers in retaliation. All right, so we have 2.5. I think I gave away the 0.8 one because I didn't like the 0.8 one. And so that left me with 2.5s, I think. Let me make sure. Because I backed one on Kickstarter. Yeah, 2.5s. So that's my Kickstarter one. And then this was my original sample one. Okay. Can you explain where this new Drillog came from? Yeah, so Drillog is doing a new Kickstarter for a wider nib pin, a wider tipped pin. So it's live on Kickstarter. It's cool, but overpriced for something I'd use so little. I'd say that's the #1 complaint. And then the number one complaint is price, completely valid. Number 2 is that it does not work in every ink, no matter what they say. It just doesn't. All right, so this is their new little, I don't know about this handle. It's like this little switch up handle, which I think is going to be good. And it's going to be designed to fit into some of the other barrels that I already have, but I don't really like the other barrels. So much money for what is really a novelty. I would disagree that it's a novelty. I would say that it's a specific tool, right? It's not a novelty for someone who uses it as a tool. Got the Topofolio in. Nice. Overpriced and not a good match for a specific person aren't the same thing. So this is... I don't know the details here. So this is a little switch up piece that I don't know how to use. I didn't get a diagram on this. So I think this feels like stainless. It's not light. It's not ultra light. I'll have to read what the difference is with this barrel. Pen BBS Shanghai would be a good ink to try. Remember the ink sliding off Independence Mike's metal letter opener. I'll have to see if I have any Pen BBS inks. I didn't bring any in here. I brought some very basic inks to test. The loop is removable, but why? Is the Drillog a fad or a trend? It's neither. The Drillog isn't popular enough to be either. Kind of like the number 8 nib. Like, it's going to be really good for those who like it and really bad for those who don't. Is the list in the back of your Hobonichi? I'll check. I think my Hobonichi is pretty cleared out, though. All right, so let me see what they've changed here. All right, so here's... Let's see here. So you can see the new chunky boy on the right, which is the 1.2 millimeter tip, and then the 0.5 millimeter tip. I think in general, are the grooves deeper? I mean, without me having some kind of like scientific measurement thing, I don't think I can tell. They kind of visually look like it, but I think it's just because it's a wider tip anyway. So, all right, so let's, so not a joke, Tess. I do pick up, I don't like to put my fingertips on the tip, so. All right, so this is still pretty short for me. So I think I'm gonna swap this into, I gotta figure out what this situation is going here. Like that's still pretty short for a handle. So I think what I'm going to do is put it in this handle that I got. The ink channels look wider. It kind of visually does. And look wider and deeper. So we're going to hold this off here. Just for usage. So there we go. So that's the normal size one. I'll need to read more. I'll probably Instagram like more about this handle and stuff. I got to figure out what the deal is with that. Because I don't know off the top of my head. If the channels are modified, you should retest the old ones as well. Well, it's going to be different delivery, right? Off the wide tip. Without video, this is hilarious. Oh my. All right, so I brought some basic stuff in here. I can't totally remember what I did before. So I brought some basics. So we have Pilot Blue Black. We have Sailor Sky High. I brought a bunch of blues, so hopefully we can see them on the stream. I was gonna bring in the Edelstein Orange, but I didn't bother. We have Van Diemen's Devil's Kitchen. Right, what didn't work on the 05 might work on the big one. Yeah, for sure. And I honestly, it looks slightly different. I'll have to get into the details. Diamine, Havasu Turquoise, and then Ackermann Dutch Masters. So we'll keep that up on the side. These are all very basic inks, except maybe the Van Diemen's, but it's still a standard ink, right? There's no shimmer. These are not shimmer inks. These are not heavy sheening inks. These are just straightforward writing ink. So I wanted to kind of get the basics back again. The reformulated Devil's Kitchen, I still am confused about that. So, all right. Let's do Pilot Blue Black first. What am I going to write? Diamine or diamine? That's a lifelong question. Diamine, diamine. This has a little shot glass in here. All right, so there's Pilot Blue Black. I just dipped it in. I didn't wipe it on the edge. That's a pretty good. What is my go-to black ink? So I like Pilot Namiki Black. I like Platinum Carbon Black, and I like Kiyono Oto Nurabiro. It is very inky off the jump. I need to ink up the 05 for comparison. Just a second. The flow is good. I mean, it's very, very wet. This is more like your glass dip nib pen feel. I'm just going to write for a minute and then we'll talk about it. All right, talk amongst yourselves while I'm just going to run through this real quick. But you can tell, even probably from a distance, how wet the first lines are compared to the rest. So if you're asking me questions right now, you might have to ask them again because I'm not looking. It's definitely drying out now. And the difference is, so maybe the 1.2 has to hold more ink because it's going to put down more ink as well, right? If you think about it that way. All right, looks like, well, maybe because I stopped. I don't know. No, I think that's about it. Excuse me. All right. So, I'm thinking. All right, so let me wipe this off. Yeah. It's definitely a sigh, and here I'll explain why in a minute. Well, I have to think about it, right? So, like, I definitely, like, think about these things. You did a partial dip. I mean, it was like 3/4 on the nib. Curious to know how it handles steep writing angles. Okay, we'll test. So, we're going to have to test more inks for one, right? So, let me just clean this off and get it dry. I'm using a shop towel, so it's not really a fibrous towel. All right. So, what you have here is about 3 or 4 lines that were consistent. Did the smaller Drillog get a bunch more writing per ink up? So, again, it's ink dependent. Shout out, Mike. Brad shipping spoke today. Yes, shipping this afternoon. So you will see a shipping notification for that. So very heavy, right, from the bottle, which is normal for like a glass dip nib. And then probably like by like the 3rd line, it starts to get into like a line that I like for about 3 or 4 lines, and then it starts to get thin pretty quick. So if the 1.2 has a wider tip and wider channels to hold more ink to get to allow the ink to flow better, it's still delivering more to the page than a 0.5 would, right? Let me do a 0.5 comparison real quick. I'm not going to do a 0.5 comparison with all of these, but I want to do the same ink, with the 0.5 nib. Placed my first spoke order last night. Was enthralled by the Model 4. The Model 4 is awesome, and the customizer's up as of yesterday, FYI. Did I miss an alert? Schmevelin. Strings. Oh, man. I missed all these alerts. Why isn't my alert thing bleep boopling? Strings and Pedals. 5 months of sub. And Schmevelin with the gifted sub. Thank you so much. Soflogic, thank you for the follow. Appreciate y'all. That lasts longer than my Kakamori. We'll see. We have a long way to go before making like complete decisions. Oh, I'll do the Kakamori so we'll do all of these with the Pilot Blue Black. We'll do the comparison. So that's the Drillog 1.2. So let me do the Drillog 0.5 now. So this one I'm going to have to wipe because there is a drop coming off of it. You can see that. All right, so you can see it's less stick-to-itiveness than the 1.2. Oh, then I just touched it. This is so much more enjoyable for me to write with. But look, it's already like not really going. This one definitely wouldn't work for the high angles. So you can tell the stickiness on that last nib is working better than this nib, right? I'm already having trouble with this. Maybe I just had to get it going. Nope, I lied. It's definitely requiring more spinning to get this thing going. All right, I think that's about it. This is way less enjoyable than the 1.2, even though I don't necessarily love the 1.2. Okay. All right, that's about it. Do you clean that with acetone to make sure you get all the residue off? No, but I should. Like, you can do the toothbrush toothpaste kind of thing. Did they do something to make it stick better? Yeah, I don't know. So, the Edelstein writes like twice as long as that, which I didn't bring any here. All right, then the Kakamori. Let's do the Kakamori next. I don't think Toasty needs to be validated. When you're right, do you need validation? Oops. Did too short, then too far. Toothbrush toothpaste thing is to scrub the nib, that way the ink will stick to it better. So that's the Drillog's biggest issue for me. Like, there's no way I'd recommend the Drillog over this Kakamori if you're just looking for like a dip nib to play around with. Like, not at all. I did kind of double dip this, but it's way more consistent, that's for sure. Yeah, this is way better than like the 1.2 Drillog. Just in feel, like in line consistency. What line thickness would you say this is? It's a little bit narrower, but not much. And it's holding the ink better. So that's what this Kakamori does that just trounces everything that the Drillog does, is the consistency. So if I was writing a letter, I'd probably want to do this. Do y'all need me to keep going? Because this ain't stopping. This is awesome. What I need to do is find a bad Drillog ink and test it with the Kakamori. Have you tried the Kakamori brass nib? No. I'd rather have the steel one. All right, I'm going to stop. That's good. And I'm going to show you why I like this nib so much in comparison to the 1.2 Drillog. But we're going to try the 1.2 Drillog on some other inks here in just a second. You can swatch and draw with the Kakamori too. Yeah, definitely. Sorry for the added sound effects there. Got a little extra blue. Dipping this too far. I want to drag blue into my other ink bottles. Okay, so the difference in something like these nibs is pretty clear here. So we're going to try some other ink, see how it goes. So it's very inconsistent, right? It's like the most ink until I write it dry, and there's no metering of the ink, really. Like, it's just going to use the ink, and the line width is based on how much ink's flowing out the nib. Then you go to something like the Kakamori, and it's heaviest at the start, But then look how evenly it writes. It's much more metered ink flow in writing. So we're gonna try some more 1.2 writing with some different inks now and see kind of what happens. Let's try the Sailor, because if I'm remembering correctly, the Sailor inks were pretty bad, right? With the Drillogs before, Sailor or Robert Oster was really not good. So let's test this out. Then we'll do a giveaway, and then we'll keep going through these inks. So this is Sailor Sky High. This is the Sailor Gentle, like their most basic ink. So we'll try that. What a color. What a color. I'm going to tap it a little bit there, just so it's not overdone. So that's the Drillog 1.2 and Sailor Gentle Sky High ink. I'm writing with a little bit lower angle this time. Kicked back a little bit. And again, since I'm looking down so much, y'all feel free to repeat your questions if there's something you want to ask me that I've missed. You just want to may want to wait till I'm done writing or something if you really want me to see it. This feels better. And I'm writing fast too. You can probably hear how fast I'm writing. See how ink dependent these are? Which is a problem. This is where the frustration lies. And now it's starting to thin out. Now I'm going to write a little bit slower. Oh, remind me next time to do it more vertical. All right, that's about it. That was pretty good. Major bedlam apparently not until 2023, according to the Goulets. Lower angle seems to be working better. Yeah. So I need to play around with that, see what I'm doing. It felt better. Like it felt smoother. Like the ink was a better choice. But that's such a challenge, right? That's the whole thing about dip nib pens is you want to use your ink, right? With the dip nibs, you want to use your ink. That's the whole idea, right? So if ink is an obstacle to getting good performance out of this nib, that's a problem. This was certainly better out of the two. I had a lot bigger range of consistent lines here, like in the middle. Then the Pilot was just like loaded, moderate, gone. This was like after the first line, like from the second, like down through the 7th or 8th line, it was really consistent. So that was good. That was pretty good. Let's try this Ackerman. Seems like we did Ackerman number 28 last time, and it wasn't that great, or was it? Like I can't even remember. I shouldn't even try to remember. I don't use this bottle enough. This is a great color. Israel's Ziblau. Clean the nib, then retest. Retest what? I'll retest something, but what do you want me to retest? Same ink, different ink. Same nib, different nib. All right, let's try this. Which Drillog? The 1-2 and the same ink. So this is the Ackerman. You can see it's not as sticky as the Sailor, right? Like the Sailor just like coated everything. So let's see how it goes. Yeah, this is like the Pilot. This is mega inky. This one's flowing like the Pilot. I can feel the difference in wetness or smoothness between these inks with this nib. Like the Sailor just felt better. This one seems to be doing better than the Pilot. I may have to take back what I was saying. This is going pretty good after the first lines. We'll see. Yeah, I spoke too soon. About like the Pilot. All right, about like the Pilot. Yeah, I think that was in the survey, wasn't it? I'll have to look. Crochet, thank you for the 100 bits. Appreciate you. This is Ackerman Dutch Masters number 6, Israel's Zeeblau. So it's in the Dutch Masters series. This one is a kind of a green. So that was very similar to the Pilot Blue Black. I should have brought in an Edelstein ink just for comparison, since I say it's the best Drillog ink. All right. Yeah, I don't use this ink enough. It's really good. So let's see here. So this is very similar to the Pilot in that it was more wet in the beginning and then got dry pretty quick. I think the Sailor is definitely the most consistent. So I'll probably try the Sailor on the Sky High. I mean the 0.5 on the Sky High. How about Shimmer ink? I didn't bring one in to test. I wanted to test some basic inks, but we could do that. We could do that later. All right, let me see if I can do a giveaway real quick, and then we'll keep going. I don't know if I can reach my stuff. It's a little bit like petrol, maybe a little lighter for sure. All right, let's see here. So, short version. If you're not a Drillog fan or a user, this isn't going to change anything. It's pretty much the same experience as other Drillogs so far. Like, just with wider lines. I wonder if a lubricated ink would perform better. I mean, there's definitely ink consistency differences that do perform better. All right, let's do a giveaway, then we'll get back to it. What type of grip is in your spoke icon Drillog? It's just like an acrylic insert. All right. All right, so we have, what do we have here? We have a fancy Y Studio here. Ballpoint pen, brassing. I wonder if this is the red one I reviewed. Ballpoint pen brassing. Let's see. Let's see here. Ooh, this might be the black one that this might have some love marks on it, chat. This might be very brassed. This might be a very brassed one. Yeah, let's see. This is the OG. So the brass underneath here is even started to patina. So these are marks that I put on here just for testing, right? This was back when I reviewed the pen. This is the first Y Studio I think I got, even before the fountain pen, when I was trying to decide what like the brassing was. So this is a well-loved pen, but it's kind of cool in the same aspect. And the brass is like no longer bright under here, which is a pretty neat look. And it's a twist mechanism. So like you kind of twist and then it snaps out. And so you like push it in, but you have to twist it to deploy it. It's a very comfortable pen. It's like holding a Caran d'Ache 849, but heavier. So this is a really nice pen. So definitely loved, definitely reviewed. You can see the sandpaper where I was modifying it, if you will. So you can modify it further. You could take the whole you could take all of the black off of there if you wanted to. All right, let's give this away. Let's do this. All right. So I'm shipping today, chat. If anyone wins something today, you should email me. And if you won something earlier this week, it will ship this afternoon. All right. While we do this, I'm going to go grab the Edelstein real quick, and I'll grab a Shimmer ink. Because I think we have a pretty good baseline of standard inks here. So I'll be right back. It's just me, dude. Chill. Wow. Toby was not happy. Did y'all hear that? It's okay, man. It's just me. Sioli-san, 7 months of subbing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, so we'll jump the standard diamine. We'll do Starlit C. We'll keep the bluish theme going. And then we got the Edelstein Aquamarine. So just for continuity testing here, let's see what we got going on. Have you commented on the Caran d'Ache Claim Your Style 4? I haven't seen those yet. I've loved all the previous iterations. So hopefully that's just as good. All right, sorry. All right, let's see here. Giveaway winner. Let's see if they're still lurking. They entered the giveaway. Ah! Strings and pedals. Is that your first time? That's definitely your first time. First time winner, strings and pedals? Yes. 0 wins club. You're out of the club. This will be a good work desk pen because it's already half destroyed and you can destroy it even more. Perfect. Whomst do you email? hello@penaddict.com and I will ship it today. little corgi guy. Almost out of the corgis. All right. Nice. Well, no, today is shipping day, Thursday, so everyone else's winnings are sitting right here. And when I'm done, Thursday afternoon is for shipping. So just so happens, no special treatments. As a matter of fact, Strings and Pedals would get least favorite shipping. You bring it to DC, I wish. Actually, I don't wish. I'm okay not going. All right, let's see here what we could do next. Oh, let me look at these Karen Dashes real quick. Is that the only picture? I can't tell what's going on here. It's like kind of, are these like metallic clips and knocks? It's pretty cool on the blue. Yeah, pretty cool. I like them. I really like the blue and I like the top two the best. Yeah, the bluish and then the second one. Yeah, it's hard to see. There's like a circle. I guess that's the big C. I think it's just the name, Karen Dash. And it kind of looks like the grips, or I mean the clips are like sparkly. And I'm wondering if it's the same treatment on the knocks. I can't quite tell. It looks like it. Like you can tell on the pink one. I like these top two, for sure. He'll break it a bit right before sending it. Those pins are hard to break. It's just, I might brass it some more. Meh compared to the other ones, yeah, it's like they've really kind of gone all out on everything up till now, and this is less claim your style than the previous claim your styles, if that makes sense. So yeah, but cool. I will definitely like to see like the blue and like the gray or purple, whatever that one is, in person. So I will definitely be checking those out. Okie dokie. Let's do Shimmer next. Wasn't Claim Your Style 3 similar? I think it had some alternate colors at least on the knock and the clip. Boy, I really lost the lighting on this page from something. Like this looks much darker than it was before. Kakamori. Kakamori's the way to go, chat. What have we learned today? That's what we've learned today. All right, so we're gonna do Diamine Starlit C. Let me get this shaken up real quick. Yeah, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. All right, that's pretty shook. Okay. Didn't really feel the need to wipe this one off. It was just kind of on there pretty well. Didn't seem to be overly grabby. They were monochrome. Gotcha. Wow, that's wet. It seems to be winding down really quickly. This does not look to be a good ink choice. Look at that. Now I want to try out the regular diamine. Well, that's the worst. That's the worst. Look at that. That was terrible. We should do some more comparisons here. Now I want to try the Havasu Turquoise, like Havasu. That stunk. That was legit bad. Definitely the worst performer. I mean, the Shimmer's there, but it's like, look how quick that line went away. I should probably test that in the Kakamori too. My godson swears there was an Edelstein Amethyst. I've never seen it. Wasn't there? I can't remember. Let's do Havasu Turquoise. I want to see if this is as bad. The standard diamine is as bad as that what just was. So let me try this real quick. That was terrible. So here's the standard. It's like it might be the same situation. This is so uneven. So it's a little better, obviously, but it's not awesome. So we're going to try the Starlit C and the Kakamori next. So I will say this one, the ink flowed well down the nib. It just didn't last very long. Like you can see, maybe. From when I dipped it, like the ink flowed down the nib, right? Which is cool. It's just not as enjoyable as like the Sailor ink though. Sailor ink's definitely winning this so far. All right, I'm going to do the Starlit Sea and the Kakamori. I think I am very interested to see how that behaves. Sailor Sky High. Sailor Gentle Sky High. So you're able to say what specifics about an ink in general would make it a good match for a Drillog? You would assume that I knew the specific differences between each of these inks, and that's not something I'm going to pretend that I can tell you. Like, if someone can tell me the composition difference between Pilot Blue Black and Sailor Sky High and why they're different, I'd be all ears. That's just not something I can tell you, like, with any level of confidence. Does that make sense? So I'd love to be able to answer that question better. I can't. It's like I can feel it's a different, but what does that mean? That's the challenge. All right, so Starlit Sea and the Kakamori. Let's see what this does. If you're considering a Drillog, get a Kakamori. I mean, yes, but they're not the same. Like, the 1.2 is closer. Like, yeah, if you're considering the Drillog 1.2, the Kakamori is way better, for sure. I guess I was wondering if you find inks that you think are wetter than others do better. I'm not being difficult here, Naperville, and I'm going to explain what I think. How do I define wetter? Which nib, which paper, how does it feel? Like, it's I can feel it, right? But if explaining it in words feels arbitrary to me to say, oh, this one's wetter. Well, scientifically, is it? Right? It's just like my feel, right? So like I can feel if it's like lubricated or sticky, but then that doesn't feel like very scientific-y to me. Like it's difficult for me to explain in words. I can feel the difference in between some of the inks, like in wetness, right? Like, but a wet ink can be thin and a wet ink can be thick, right? There's wetness doesn't mean anything in that context, right? This Pilot ink was very wet and it ran off the nib. This Sailor ink was very wet, but it stuck to the nib and I could feel a difference in them, but I don't know how to define that. That's the challenge. Tweet Craig, thank you for the follow. So yeah, like, what is a wet ink? What is a dry ink? Like, chemically speaking, that's the challenge. So like, it's really hard for me to describe that. All right, let's try this Starlit Sea and the Kakamori. Like, I'm sure there's places where there's like chemical compositions of the inks that you can like define these things. I'm just saying I can't define. Yeah, like viscosity. Like, I can't define that. I can say it feels different. Does it make it better or worse? I don't know. Like, I'm not comfortable. Do you have a paper preference for Drillog or Kakamori? Golly. I screwed that up. Hang on. I'm going to redo that. I think it's a matter of surfactants with the dip nib. Not really the same thing as flow in a fountain pen. Some inks just fall off a dip nib and some won't adhere at all. Yeah, but like, we can't tell before we buy the ink, generally speaking. Is it right or not? Like, is it going to be better or not? It's like almost have to test it, right? Some wet inks are thicker and some are watery, almost a sticky feel. Yeah. Sorry, I really screwed up that dip, not paying attention here. Ended up with ink everywhere. So yeah, like, how do we know? Did the stuff arrive? Not yet. All right, let me try to dip this a little bit better. Yeah, so it's like we don't get like a label on inks that rates different things. Tracking says it was delivered though. When? Yesterday? Like I haven't been. Don't see it every day. I may just not have picked it up yet, right? So I definitely do not physically have it in my hand. All right, let's try to do this a little bit better. So yeah, like inks, like ink bottles don't have a system. Like where we get a little chart on the back. Yet packages delivered to me and packages that I have in my hands are two very different things. Said delivered Monday. Interesting. Okay, well, I'll be there today, so I'll let you know. I'll let you know today. I haven't been there this week. Like, I'm not trying to be difficult on this whole ink thing. I'm just saying it's impossible without any kind of manufacturer help. I can only tell you what I feel, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. I will tell you that I feel that the Kakamori is an awesome dip nib, and I wouldn't even consider a Drillog if you're just looking for a basic dip nib. Yeah, this is average. Yeah, this ink is not good in any nib, in any dip nib. Really. It's not enjoyable. That's kind of surprising. I thought the Shimmer ink would be a little bit better. Mail time. All right, this did a little bit better than the Drillog, but it's still like not great for this. I might be looking for a glass dip nib pen if I want to do these Shimmer inks, I guess. That's a little bit better. A little bit better. Whoa. More or less shimmer than from a nib? That's a good question. Let me check. It was a good question. No, that's the thing. It's a good question that we can't define. No, not at all, Glyph. I just haven't had the time yet. Like, I would like to be able to define things like fountain pen ink wetness, but it's just what I say, like, could be different than what someone else says. Like, it's not definable. So what paper is that pad? Bank paper? Life. Is that a blotter paper or shop towel? Yeah, it's a shop towel. I was using it so I could dry off the nibs. All right, so we're going to do maybe our last test. We'll see. So the Drillog, in my previous Drillog experience, the Pelican Edelstein inks work the best. So what I want to do is test the 1.2 nib and see how it does compared to the Sailor Sky High. Speaking of papers, are there good heavy recycled papers? I mean, if you don't want to use fountain pens, you can use any recycled paper. If you want to use fountain pens, it's more of a challenge, and I don't know that I have a great recommendation. I'm the first and last word in something. Not this, though. Shimmer inks with glass pens is great. Yeah, I would agree. I think that's better. Sorry, I had some barrel residue on there I wanted to get rid of. Hang on one sec. So let me try. All right, so Starlit C. Yeah, thanks. Starlit C does not work well with these steel dip nibs. I think you get more shimmer with a nib. There's really not a ton of shimmer in here unless you're getting into like the really thick ink lines. So I was just getting my wife to shut the door. Then she came and asked, do you need me to shut the door while I unmuted? So yeah. I'd say there's more shimmer with nibs. Like when I reviewed this, whatever nib I used when I reviewed this was awesome. So yeah, I would use more of a glass dip nib pen with these. All right. Let's do this. So the last time I tested the Drillogs, when I tested the 0.5 Drillog, Edelstein worked really well. I can't tell you why. Again, back to Neighbor Villain's question. What is the difference between this ink and the diamine inks? Diamine inks. However you pronounce them. Like, I can't tell you other than like anecdotally. So let's try this. I'm going to use the same paper here. So we're going to go 1.2 in the Edelstein as I make a mess on my desk. Any wider barrel mechanical pencils that you would recommend? Thin barrels would hurt your hand. Have you looked at the Sakura Sumo? Like, it's not your like traditional styled mechanical pencil, but it's a great one. The Tombow monographs shakers have wider diameters than like Rotrings and Pentel Sharps and things. So those are the two. The Tombow monograph is a more traditional option, styled. All right. So let's see how we do here. Wow. Can y'all hear that? This is the first time I've been able to hear that. Did I do something to this nib? Oh, I think it's just because I have the page lifted up. Sorry if it's a little bit scratchier. It's because I lifted this page and it's not flat. Yeah, it's making noise because of the way I have the paper laid up. It's on these water tubs. Where it was just on the paper before. It was flat before. It's not anymore. What's funny is it doesn't feel scratchy, but it sounds terrible. All right. Yeah, it doesn't feel scratchy. That's what confused me. All right, now that it's flat, like you can hear it now. Now that I have it back just on the pad, I had it leaned up against something else, so you can hear what it sounds like now. So, very different. All right, that didn't do exceptionally well, to be honest. That did not do well. Final question, what would be the best use case for the Drillog in multiple sizes? Or are you just looking to see how the ink looks between different sizes? Would you decide to put a certain ink in a certain nib size based off the Drillog? So, that's asking for like final results. I don't think the 1.2 Drillog is any better than, for me, than the 0.5 Drillog. The use case for the 0.5 Drillog is for me to write like this, which is how I like to write. The use case for a 1.2 Drillog is to get more ink on the page for writing and sampling. And in that case, I could never recommend it over the Kakamori, right? I don't recommend the Drillog to anybody, right? So the Drillog's use case is so small and limited. And then on top of that, it's frustrating. So like, I like, here, I'm gonna use the 05 amethyst, and I'll show you. Or this is aquamarine. Sorry, this is aquamarine. So, like, I can't make a case for this 1.2 Drillog. I could make more of a case for the 0.5 Drillog. I don't see a use case. I don't see a real good case for the 1.2. It doesn't do anything. It's not a step above or different than the original Drillogs, and the 0.5 Drillog is much better for what I want. Let's see how this aquamarine works in the 0.5. DC Pen Show this weekend? No, it's in like it's like in 4 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks. I think Miami is end of this month, so that'll be the next show. Do I have that right? So let's see here. So I'm going to do this again, and this will probably be the last one. So we're going to do 0.5. That's not it. DC pin show is in 28 days. Nice. All right. So this is why I like the Drillog, is this pin, and I'll have to show it. I'll have to show it to you afterwards. Yeah, this isn't great in this one. So I'll have to, the Tanzanite and Topaz did much better than the, whatever this is, Aquamarine. Yeah, this Aquamarine does not work well in this nib. When I've done the did Tanzanite and Topaz before, I could probably fill up like this whole area of the page here easily. That was bad. So like there's really no use case for the big Drillog, but for the small Drillogs, I think there is a use case for me for something different to have a really fine line, but you got to match up the ink like perfectly, and that's even a more difficult challenge. Is like, hey, I'm trying to use this thing because I like it and I like the idea of it, and then the ink decision is a frustration point that I don't know that they're going to be able to solve. The 1.2 doesn't necessarily solve that. It just makes it bigger. The 1.2 puts them closer into like what you can get in a Kakamori nib or a glass dip nib pen, right? This is different. This is why I was so excited about this, and will continue to use this even if it is frustrating. 1.2, like I have that, right? This is a Kakamori dip nib. It's better, right? So like I think they need to lean into this even more and like make this even better if they can. So yeah, that's kind of like the end, my final thoughts, if you will. The 1.2 brings this into a category where it's not going to be able to compete, right? It's going to get trounced by things like this or glass dip nib pens at a fraction of the price. And like, and this is expensive. This is $50, but this is $150 and $200 if you buy the handle, right? There's no reason for this. This I can make a case for. It just takes a lot of work. It just takes more work than I want and most anyone would want with it. Make sense? Are we there? I mean, we could all spend our money very, very differently on all kinds of different things, right? Just like the auto hut. You could buy this auto hut for $250, or you could buy a Lamy Studio for $70. Same kind of thing. We have options. So yeah, long version short, the Drillog 1.2 is nothing to Nothing to write home about. I would rather stick with the 0.5. That's at least different than what I have now. Like, asking me to pay that much money for the same thing I get and better, that's like not a selling point. Yeah, and then this one, like I do, like not this one, the 0.5 one. This one I do love, but I never recommend it because it's super finicky. It's just like the Pilot High-Tech C 0.3 millimeter. When it's on, man, it's the best. But anything else, like I don't ever recommend it to anyone because it's frustrating. All right, let's do another giveaway. So I'm gonna put my number 5 nib back in here because that's what I actually use. So the 1.2, I don't know, we'll figure out what to do. We might do a future giveaway for the 1.2. I have some other Drillog barrels I can use. I gotta figure out what this thing is. Thank you for spending the time and energy testing these pens and inks. Yeah. No problem. And like, I think the biggest thing you can take away is like, not everything's black and white, right? Like, I know I overthink a lot of this stuff, but some of it is grounds for overthinking, right? But like I could sit here and do this all day going, okay, what about this now? And keep trying it. I wish I could sit here all day and do that. But yeah, I got to figure this thing out. I'll read about this. I'll put this on Instagram and figure it out. I'll put my final thoughts on Instagram as well about the 1.2 nib and maybe do a couple little different images or whatever. Paper matters too, but I don't know, this is a pretty absorbent paper. I might try it on a smoother paper just to see. Did you do any cursive? I don't think anyone wants to see my cursive handwriting. I probably should though. I'll probably do some more testing offline just to see. Whoops. Actually, this needs to go in here. All right, y'all hang tight. We're going to do another giveaway here in a second. I'm just trying to get my desk in a spot that's functional. All right, keep that out for a minute. I'm mostly disappointed thinking that the Edelstein inks had solved some of the 0.5 issues that I've been having, and it turns out they haven't. I need to get the platinum carbon blackout. Try that. I need to try a few more inks and do like a real testing, but not with the 1.2. The 1.2 is not going to get me anywhere. All right. I think the 1.2 is not for me, nor would I recommend it. If you're looking for something like that, the price just makes it just untenable. And imagine we're like freaking out paying $50 for this nib. Like, I would recommend that in a heartbeat, the Kakamori. All right, enough of my rambling. Let's do a giveaway. And then I can take any questions y'all had about anything. I don't know what I could have possibly missed on this whole diatribe stream today. I'm sure I missed a lot. So if y'all have any more questions, now's the time. And I'm going to look for a giveaway item. Do we have any ink? Thinking. How's the pin sale coming along? Not. I'm going to do the black wings first. Hopefully this weekend I'll get the black wings done. And then I'm going to start auditing the pins. So that'll be next. That will be next. I think I know what this is, but I'm not totally. Wow, I guess I am going to give this to y'all, huh? Ways to fix Alami 1.1 stub writing with Sailor Urameku. Seems dry, won't give me a broad line. Do we think it's the nib or the ink? Has it been cleaned recently? Like those Lamy feeds tend to stick in there pretty good. And you can kind of remove the nib and make sure you get clean behind it. Those nibs are dry. Mike says those nibs are dry. Yeah, I haven't used those in a while. So yeah, try a cleaning in a different ink. See what your performance is like. Mike, are you streaming today? I'll probably be on enough to send it your way. All right, so let's look at this. I think wish they weren't, but mine have always been dry. I think this is a prototype Shiba. Yep. So clean wrote decent a bit ago in Tomoe. Yeah. All right. So here's a proof. So here's the rules. If you win this, you can't sell it. Deal? If you win this, you can't sell it. I don't need it. I don't need to keep it. It's in the icebox of happiness for me to give to y'all. So this was before we finalized the pattern, right? So this is like an original, like the wrap was not lined up right. Gonna play Valheim. Nice. That game looks like fun. I've dabbled. So, but I don't want one of my pens with a proof label being sold. Like, I kind of don't care if y'all win something and you sell it, you sell it. But like this, I can't give this away if it's going to be sold, right? Because it only came from me. And so this is not the correct pattern. This is not how we finalize the pattern on the pen. I don't have mine in here. So it's got the proof stamp on here. But like, I don't need this just to sit here, right? We can give it to y'all and y'all can have fun with it. All right, so let's do this. Look at this pen. Let's see. Oh yeah, I'm not on the book of faces, so I don't know. All right, let's do the giveaway. I have a really good idea for a Retro 51 that I want to make for me. I just can't decide if I want to make a Retro 51. All right, giveaways open, exclamation point, raffle to enter. Anyone can enter, anyone can win. You don't have to be a follower, subscriber, member. You don't have to live in the United States. I ship worldwide. Go, 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 go. All right. Thank you, Drillog, for sending this pen my way. It's probably the last one you send me. This one's not so hot. Like, it's fine, but I'd rather have the 05 or the Kakamori. Or in my case, both. The 05, my Drillog 05 plus the Kakamori is everything I need. The Drillog 1.2 doesn't solve anything for my needs. Like, it doesn't do anything for me. If you make one for me, you should consider making one for all of us next Kickstarter. I have a really good idea. I just don't know if the world needs another Retro 51 right now. I'm debating. Make one for you. Yeah. And it's a weird idea, and I'm not gonna share my ideas. Normally, I'll tell you my ideas because I'm really pretty open. This is such a weird idea. I wouldn't want any. I don't want anyone to tell me it's bad. Because I think it's one of those. It would be a divisive design. It would be a very divisive design, which makes me want to do it, right? I wouldn't do a basic design that people have already done. You got a good idea too, Mike? Yeah. And plus now you have to, I think the minimum is now 500 instead of 300. That's a big outlay. And like, I don't want to do a Kickstarter for that. So I'm thinking about it more than ever. Who knows? Who knows? All right, let's pick a winner. Here we go. Skogsy. Yeah, then you have to ship 500, right? Don't think that wasn't one of, like, the second thing that came to mind. One, can I pay for these? Two, OMG, I have to ship all those. Pen Addict Retros are among my favorites. I'm not sure this one would be. It's a very weird design idea that I have. That's 5? Wow. Skogsy's on a heater. I have faith in Skogsy to hang on to this pen. I mean, I have faith in all of y'all. Please. You still got to send me your email address, though. I'm going to make you. Because that's how I roll. Totally rigged, right? All right. If you send it to me today, I will ship it today. Because I'm shipping on Thursdays, Thunder Viking, not because I'm playing favorites. Sheesh. Rigged. All right. I think it's time, chat. Interesting stream today. You can tell I'm still kind of distracted by this whole thing. Like, this is how I get when I think about products. Like, it's still, like, this Drillog thing is still in my head. Like, am I missing something? I don't think I am. Like, I feel pretty good about my thoughts on it. I feel pretty good about the outcome. I feel pretty good to not recommend it. But I'd consider the 0.5 if you're like a really special use case like myself. I don't know. I'm gonna do an Instagram post. They don't ask me, they send me this stuff. Drillog sent me this stuff for free, by the way. I should have said that in the beginning. I think y'all know me enough by now. You're gonna get my honest opinions. I don't care if you send me stuff. If it's good or bad, I'm just gonna tell you my thoughts on it. Whatever those thoughts might be. I'm still thinking about it. But they don't ask me to do anything. They don't ask me to share it, review it, post it. But I think I probably will do an Instagram post on there. All right. Let's see. Is Mike live yet? Is it 12 yet? Just now getting there. Mike may not be live yet. Doesn't look like it. Which is okay. One sec. I mean, I think everyone here knows how to find you, but I do like throwing over. All right, y'all have a great weekend. What do we have any homework this weekend? My homework? All right, I'm gonna tell y'all my homework. Then y'all can tell me y'all's homework. My homework is to get those black wings photographed and posted on eBay. Maybe not posted, but like just photographs done, edited, descriptions written, so I can copy paste and upload. Copy paste upload. Copy paste upload. We want to get those. We want to get those black wings going. Then next week we can audit some pens. Once those get out of here, your homework is to clean pens. Anyone else cleaning pens? My homework is probably to ink pens this weekend for reviews. My homework is picking out a leather journal at the Renaissance Festival. Do you bring your own pen and ink to test the paper? Do you think they have paper testers? My homework is to pack for Italy. That's good homework. I stepped away for a while. What's your eBay account? I have never shared my eBay account. Let me see if I can get a link to it. Y'all will love the story of my... Y'all shouldn't leave yet if you want to hear the story of my eBay account name. Let me see if I can get a link. I don't know how they link users. I've never done it that way. Let's see here. I am human. Please click each image containing a boat. All right, I'm good at telling the difference between boats and trains and buses. There's another boat, and there's another boat, and there's another boat. Ooh, I think my account is in here. So I'm going to see if I can link out my account. This account is probably, I wish we could see the details. This account has to be from the late 90s. And if you can, if you know that reference, you will know that reference. Does it, like, will it show how old this account is? No. Yeah, oh, there it is. Member since August 29, 1998. There you go. So that's when I used to buy, like, a lot of music stuff. Cocolina, 20 months of subbing, let's go. August 29th, 1998. I used to buy a lot of music, like import CDs, posters, things like that. And my account is a Bell and Sebastian song name. My eBay account is older than some people in this chat. How funny is that? So that's my eBay account. Best year from 1997. Nice. That's awesome. But I very rarely use it. So it's just like hit and miss over all the years. So I will have, this will be the account that they will be uploaded. I'm not even creating a new account for this. So that's going to be the account that these will be listed on. So that's my homework this weekend, chat. All right, there's Mike. All right, let's throw it over to Mike. Valheim looks like a fun game. That looks like a game I would like. Thank you all for hanging out. Hey, wish me luck on my homework this weekend. We got to get that done. It's time. All right. Have a good one. Thanks, y'all.